inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown.
Fields stumbling, trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown!
Punch on first down, fires downfield. It's Deshaun Jackson back in the lineup. Missed the last 7 games, and he will take it 81 yards. A somersault into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season.
You're listening to the Pigskin Project, the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen and Ryan Matthews.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the 41st episode of the Pigskin Project, where Ben readjusts himself on the right side of the screen. Feels good to be back yet again for another week. It's been an exciting week. Ben, how are you doing, though?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Again, it's looking forward to another week. Enjoyed the bye week, that's for sure. The Eagles didn't play this past week, but I'm looking forward to see my Birds play. But I'm sure you enjoyed this past week of football even more than I did.
Yeah, no. Let me tell you. Okay, well, let's do the weekly recap and then we'll get to it. Cardinals beat the Saints 42-34. Ravens beat the Browns 23-20. Panthers stunned the Buccaneers 21-3. Bengals beat the Falcons 35-17. Cowboys beat the Lions 24-6. Giants beat the Jaguars 23-17. Commanders beat the Packers 23-12. Titans beat the Colts 19-10. Raiders beat the Texans 38-20. Jets beat the Broncos 16-9. Chiefs beat the 49ers 44-23. Seahawks beat the Chargers 37-23. Dolphins beat the Steelers 16-10, and then Bears beat the Patriots 33-14. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know how to react. Like, I was literally like numb. I didn't know how to react. It was so weird. Like, I finished watching the game, and I'm so used to just being frustrated to where I just didn't react. It was like one of those things where I was just kind of like, okay. And just like turned off the TV and hopped in the shower. And then I like literally thought in the shower, because that's where I do all my thinking. I was like, I don't know how to react because I've never really been in this situation before. Not only did they win, but they won in a pretty convincing way too. It was like, what? I mean, 33-14 against arguably the greatest coach ever, or one of the greatest coaches ever. That's huge. And especially for a new regime to go and do that. I understand that they don't have all the talent in the world there, but at the end of the day, it's like, dude, that is a statement win. You go not only just beat the Patriots, but you beat the Patriots at home. Like, you beat them right where Tom Brady used to play, in Bill Belichick's backyard. Like, dude, you conquered a beast. And, the thing is, not only that, we talked about it in the preseason. We got Justin Fields versus Mac Jones, and it's crazy to think that Mac Jones's career has come to a surprising stop, not altogether, but just at a more of a pause in his career at the hands of the Chicago Bears. Like, I'll be honest, man, it's just so weird to me, just because it's like, dude, I've never been in this position as a fan. I don't know success. It's not really familiar to me. But it was just like, what's going on? And I don't know what to expect for the rest of the season. I don't know. I'll let you speak your piece on it, and then I'll there's a couple overreactions, but we'll get to those as well. What do you think? What were you thinking some Monday night?
Well, I'll be honest. The first thing that popped in my head was, wow, Bailey Zappi's going to come in and win this game for the Patriots. There for a second, like those first 2 drives he had, I'm like, yeah, Mac Jones better watch for his job. But Mac Jones is starting this next week. Hopefully that Bailey Zappi thing kind of took him by surprise and kind of put his rear in gear. But the other thing that I told you I wanted to say something before we hopped into the recap. Like, I'm a man of my word. I'll eat some crow. I said after the Niners game, this is the happiest that you guys will be. Here I am, looking a little stupid. That's okay.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Justin Fields, and again, I've never been on the train of got to get rid of Justin Fields. I even said like when we were talking that, like, if you guys are if you guys blow this year, then you guys can get an offensive talent to help Justin Fields. But for the first time, like all season, Justin Fields like showed like actual real flashes for like an entire game. And it looks, I'm happy for you, man. And the other thing too is the clip blew up, like that crazy sidearm, like that he had for the touchdown. I don't know how that wasn't like. How are we going to call roughing the passer on like these plays?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
with like Chris Jones when he strip sacked the ball and had the ball, or
Yeah.
Grady Jarrett throwing Tom Brady to the ground. But we're not going to call it when Justin Fields has the ball out and the defender took like 3 steps. It's still sandwiched Justin Fields' head. It doesn't make any sense to me. The NFL really, really, really needs to get a grasp on this roughing the passer.
There are a lot of things that I mean, that sidearm throw that he threw between 2 defenders, I remember watching that back and being like, huh, that just happened on a Bears quarterback? Like, he just did that? Like I said, unheard of, and it was just altogether awesome. But the thing is like, when I was showing Caitlin the highlights because she had work and she couldn't watch the game. She was like, I saw the final score. How are you doing? And I was like, oh, trust me, I don't really know how to answer that question. But let me just say this. Sam Mustipher,
he's awful.
I said it in the group chat. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I don't want to say verbatim what I said, but what I'm going to say is this guy is not going to be a Chicago Bear next year. He has no place to be a Chicago Bear.
This shouldn't be a Chicago Bear next week.
No, dude, it truly was disappointing. I was just altogether like, wow. I mean, he ran away. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe the clip. It was just so bad.
He missed a block. He was supposed to help a guard. For those who like don't know the clip that he's referring to, he was supposed to help like a double block. The defender like went on the outside, so Sam couldn't help. But then he just continued to run, and he kind of was just looking around. It wasn't blocking anyone, and he was like 10 yards away from Justin Fields. He was like 10 yards away from Justin Fields. Wasn't even looking at him. Like he looked like he had no clue in hell what he was doing.
He found somebody to block after missing his original block. Blocked him for about maybe a second. Let him get by him, and that guy that tackled Justin Fields on that play was the guy that Sam Mustipher found to block. Like, it all happened so quick, and it was so stupid. Let's get through weekly news really quick, and then I will talk about my overreactions, and it might not be an overreaction, but it leads into more of a better discussion afterwards. So as far as that, let's get into it.
Ryan and Ben bring you weekly news.
All right, so running back Christian McCaffrey was traded to the 49ers for a 2023 second round pick, 2023 third, and a 2023 fourth, and 2024 fifth. That's a haul for a running back. This was announced by both teams and everything, but Breece Hall has torn his ACL and partially torn his MCL, and as a result, the Jets have traded for running back James Robinson. I'm expecting him to split carries with Michael Carter as well. I'm not entirely sure as far as workload goes. So in a fantasy aspect, I say keep James Robinson and Michael Carter on your bench at least for this week just to see how it plays out. This is the more interesting trade of the week that just happened today. And ladies and gents, we had to talk about it because this is our favorite teams. How could you not? So the Eagles have traded a 4th-round pick to the Bears for defensive end Robert Quinn. Ben, how are you feeling?
Yeah, no, we'll get into that. But just real quick, the CMC trade.
Yes.
That makes the 49ers very dangerous now. That offense is very, very scary. That defense is amazing. Sad thing is the quarterback is still Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'm going to be honest, they overpaid like way too much for him. Especially for like a scheme that you don't need an elite guy in. The scheme has always been like anyone can slot in there and be perfectly fine. We've seen it with Jeff Wilson. Like it doesn't make any sense to give up that much draft capital. I understand he's a great player, but they just gave up way too much. But at the end of the day, he's a great player and he makes that offense better. As far as Breece Hall, it's sad to see. Again, I sat in front of him or his family. They were like super humble. They were awesome people. Great kid. And he looked like he's going to be a star in this league. It's a shame we can't see him finish it out.
Right.
James, you touched everything on I wanted to for the James Robinson thing. But as far as the Robert Quinn and Eagles trade, we knew the Eagles were going to make a trade for a depth defensive end, and we knew that Robert Quinn was not going to be on this team next year. So that was the easy fit to make. As an Eagles fan, Eagles Twitter is like absolutely blowing up. Like Harry Roseman's amazing. And I think I'm way out of the minority in saying this. I think it was a fine trade. I'm not a fan of it. I think it was way too much for him. A 4th-round pick for a 32-year-old defensive end who has 1 sack on the season. But I will say he fits very, very well in this system, and we aren't paying his contract this year. So that's nice. But it was a no-brainer by the Bears for sure. Again, we knew he was going to be on this team, and to be able to get a 4th-round pick for him, like that had to be by far and away the best you guys were going to get for him.
I definitely, I mean, to think that they were shopping him for so long as well, that's huge. But if you're a numbers guy, I want to express this from a Bears point of view as far as numbers go and why this makes so much sense and for Chicago's point of view. So pre-trade, Quinn cost for the rest of 2022 $7.82 million. Post-trade, now he costs $7.11 million. So they're saving $711,000 on the 2022 cap space. In 2023, Quinn has $14 million in compensation and an $18.2 million cap hit, but $8.475 million in total dead cap over 2023 to 2024. That's very confusing. So in a nutshell, let me explain. So the Bears save $711,000 plus $9.762 million total in 2022 to 2023. 2023. So about $10.5 million saved by the Bears in total cap space. That's huge. And I should have just said 10.5 whatever million. Just I wanted to break it down for anybody that cares. But the thing is that's pretty huge. And you get a 4th-round pick out of that. That's a pretty high value pick that you could also redirect somewhere else. You look at, for example, the Khalil Mack trade, right? He was traded for a 2022 2nd-round draft pick and our 2023 6th-round draft pick. So what I would like to say is maybe you could flip that 4th or maybe even like a 3rd-round draft pick or something like that to somebody else for a good wide receiver. I think that it's encouraging. But something else to look forward to as well, could that mean that Roquan Smith is also on the move? You're also thinking about, they weren't able to get a contract situated, even though he's been a huge help on defense. Are they willing to sacrifice that to get a better draft compensation? And it's you got to think about what's your current situation right now. I mean, right now they're 3-4. It's not a good record. It could be better. They've got a pretty decent schedule coming up to where they face a couple pretty bad teams and a couple really good teams, and the Cowboys and Dolphins. Then they also have the Lions and Falcons coming up. I think that judging by the performance, and I'm not going to say, I'm just gonna jump into it. First off, let me just, We'll wait. We're going into weekly news. We're gonna stay into weekly news, and then we're gonna get through overreactions. We have 2 more bullet points. Matt Ryan will be benched for Sam Ehlinger. Kind of weird that they didn't go to Nick Foles, but okay. And then Bradley Chubb is rumored to be traded if the Broncos lose to the Jaguars. Do you have anything on both of those points?
Yeah, on both those points. Me not being a big fan of the Robert Quinn trade has exactly to do with has everything to do with the Bradley Chubb thing. I would much rather pay a 3rd-round pick for Bradley Chubb than a 4th-round pick for an old pass rusher. Again, it still doesn't make any sense to me. And at the end of the day, I think real quick, we're going to bounce back to that. Robert Quinn is he's going to be the fourth defensive end on this team. He's not going to be double teamed at all. I think he was like double teamed at like 52%, which is like higher than Nick Bosa and Aaron Donald, which is just crazy to think. But as far as the Matt Ryan thing, he was hurt. So he wasn't playing this game no matter what. But it was a business decision to say Sam's going to be playing for the rest of the season, at least right now. And the reason that they're doing that is they're just trying to see if they have something in him. Because if he sucks, then you have an awesome pick and you can go and get someone. And if he shows some flashes, then it looks like you have your guy. I really don't think there's any benefit in playing Nick Foles because Nick Foles is going to like keep you at like a nice steady level. And you'll be picking, 15th spot, not knowing if you need a quarterback, not knowing, how to get up there if you need a quarterback. I think Sam was the clear and easy move to see whether or not you need a quarterback. And if you do, that means Sam sucked and now you have to pick to do it. So.
I will say it was kind of crazy because I was seeing like, oh man, these Colts should be a lot better than they are. But
yeah.
I mean, looking at their position, do you remember they have a first round pick, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean, could they be in the running for like a Bryce Young?
That's what I'm saying right now, man. If Sam sucks,
I think so. Yeah. Anyways, all right, let's move on to overreactions. I have 3 bullet points, and I want to start with my Bears just because we already pretty much covered it. A lot.
Bears.
So I have T- about 10 days before I go and see my Bears again in person. And my home streak is on the line. I have not seen the Bears lose a game at home. It's on the line. Let's see if I'm a good luck charm. But first off, overreactions go. I think, an overreaction could be they kind of stand a chance against maybe some bigger name teams. Not saying that they'll win, but I'm saying it looks like they could potentially put up more of a fight against big name teams. For example, right? The Cowboys, look at what they did this previous week. They beat the Lions 24-6. Not that big of a difference. And the Lions have.
And I will say that score was not even like that score doesn't even represent how close that game was. You see that and you're like, oh wow. No, that game was very, very close until like
of course
halfway through the fourth quarter. It's because they were fumbling it. So like that game, it was even closer than what the box score wants to tell.
I think the Bears have a chance just because they have, at the moment, they have like literally the number 10 ranked defense in the league, or like close to it at least. So you're dealing with a pretty solid defense in Chicago, and they proved on Monday that they could take away the ball. Pretty good. Dak Prescott is prone to, potentially making mistakes. I'm not going to hype it up and say that the Bears are going to win this game. What I'm saying is they could. Their next opponent, the Dolphins, the one that I'm actually going to see in person. You look at what they did this past week. They only beat the Steelers by 6 points. That's not good. And at the end of the day, I don't think that the Dolphins are 100%. So it all just depends on current health situations for the Dolphins. But the Bears, depending on where the Dolphins are, could potentially win that game. Lions, their defense is horrible. I'm sorry. I'm not. Think of it as the Bears and Packers. Until the Lions beat the Bears consistently, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Lions are going to beat the Bears. The Falcons are a fun team to watch.
Yes.
But I'm giving the Bears an edge right now for the time being, because at the moment you're undecided on whether or not Marcus Mariota is going to be the long-term starter, or if they're going to give Desmond Ridder a chance at some point. You also have Cordero Patterson on the IR. Next up, you have the Jets. Just lost Breece Hall. That's pretty big blow to the Jets, except the Jets have a pretty decent defense. That's going to be a good game. On December 4th, I see the Bears again at home, and they play the Packers. And I'm sorry to any of the Packers fans that are listening, but I called it. Ben called it. We called it. We called a lot of things on the Pigskin Project if you haven't been listening. But the thing is, the Packers don't look very good. If they don't make a move in the next few days, this is like this is going to be very good. This is going to be a much better game than what you see on prime time. This is a noon Bears game at Soldier Field against the Packers, and I think they stand a chance. You have the Eagles and Bears after the Bears bye week. If I'm you, I'm a little worried, but not so much because you just took one of our best Packers rushers. I was kind of excited for that one, but now I'm like, crap. We talked about it in our group chat. It makes it at least a little bit better.
Yes, I want so badly Robert Quinn to just sack the crap out of Justin Fields. I want nothing more than that. And just real quick to that game, I will say, again, pessimistic fan here. It's a little scary going in there with the cold. And you guys are the number one ranked running offense, and
yes,
the Eagles defense has struggled mightily tackling in the run game. So that game is a little scary, but honestly, I just want it to be a competitive game. I want it to be a competitive game so bad, and that might be, I'm going to that game, and that's why I want it. And yeah, would it be awesome if the or if the Eagles just blew out the Bears?
But that's not fun.
But it's not fun.
Yeah. I want these touchdowns to matter, okay?
Yes.
That's it. If you're already up by 14, 15, 16, whatever points, and my Bears just look like you're beating a dead horse, like it's not going to be fun for anybody. I'm with you. You look at the rest of their schedule, Bills, Lions, Vikings, right? And I'm seeing one, maybe two games out of that stretch. And I'm just saying, I'm not going to say that the Bears are making the playoffs. I'm not saying, because that would be an overreaction. But what I am saying is, judging on the adjustments that were made over this mini bye, as Matty Verflus likes to say it, they made the correct adjustments that they should have been doing all along. They let Fields run. They'd called a lot more bootleg passes and everything. It's unfortunate that Lucas Patrick got injured. The good news is, here in about 4 games is when he'll be supposed to be coming back, and that's going to be when the Bears play the Jets, and then the Bears play the Packers as well. I'm hoping that the Bears have Lucas Patrick back at center by the time that the Bears play the Packers. But the thing is, at the end of the day, and I don't know how you feel about it, I think after the adjustments made, I think that the Bears are going to be at least more competitive than they were before the mini bye. And I'm excited to see what they can do on Sunday against the Cowboys, which I think is going to be their first real test since then.
Yeah, I said 4 and 5 wins is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna bump it up for you. I'm gonna say 5 to 6 wins.
Oh boy!
Oh boy! It's so tough as an outsider to watch this. Because Justin Fields has the ability to be very, very good, and we saw what he can do. Yeah. But you guys still have not surrounded him with talent, and I want to see him with talent. And the thing is if you guys win 7 games, you guys are going to be stuck with the 11th or 12th pick, and you could still get a good player there, but it's not a player as good of a player you'd get with the 5th overall pick. Right. So it's tough because you're rooting for this guy as an outsider because he doesn't have any talent. But if he's doing good, that means the team is doing good, and it's tough because I really want to see the kid do good. We'll see. I'm rooting for the Bears. So.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you have to at least a little bit, right? I'm hoping. Anyways, my other overreactions. The Chargers are bad. We talked about this in the group chat today. Wow. I mean, it's unfortunate. I don't even know how to correctly assess this team. Injuries, maybe?
I think injuries have a part in it, but it's tough because we looked at them going into the year, and you have all the weapons. You have the Justin Herbert, who people, mind you, are trying to say he was an elite quarterback. Looking here, I got pooped on for it, but here we are. He has the talent around him. He has the running back. He has the wide receiver core. The defense went out and got big pieces to hopefully do that. But guys like J.C. Jackson is out. He's out for the rest of the season now. And it's tough. I really think it's time for Brandon Staley to go. I just don't think he
that was my next point.
Yeah, he might be a good football mind, and I don't have a doubt about it. And I love the fact that he's bringing a little bit more of the analytical game in this and going a little bit more on fourth down and stuff. But more so than anything that he's struggling to build a culture there. And it's really, really tough to have a winning football team that doesn't have an identity, that doesn't have a culture. I just think it's time for them to find a guy. And there's no rumbling about this, but like Sean Payton, that'd be very, very fun to go and see. So
yeah, no, oh my gosh. Ladies and gents, dots just connected here. That's huge. Next up, an overreaction that I saw from the Imagine Sports Network. I believe it's another podcast that's on TikTok. Another IU kid. He's from Boston. He's a huge Boston fan, and he said the Patriots need to fire Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
No. I don't think, and here's why. Think about the teams that Bill Belichick has been able to build around and everything like that and win with. I get that. This is like the first time in a while that Bill Belichick has had nothing to work with, and he's not really doing very much with it as a result. But the thing is, Bill Belichick is one of those guys you just let retire, man. I mean, either that, but it's really tough to bring the dog behind the barn at that point and just pull the trigger because, I mean, it's Bill Belichick.
No, I understand that, but it's like back to God. I hope we have. I don't know how to say this without seeming like rude or unkind. No. I'm not meaning this to be like rude or unkind, but I hope we have listeners that are a little bit older than us. I would say a little more life experience. Don Shula. Don Shula, who doesn't know, he was the head coach for the Dolphins when the Dolphins were like at their peak. And I'm pretty sure it was Don Shula. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Don Shula and his team. Again, right there with Bill Belichick, one of the greatest head coaches of all time. But I think he won like 7 games and then they fired him because it's just one of those things that like he's such a stable and so well known in that thing that you don't want to see him lose 4 games. You don't want to see him lose or win 3 games. Like you don't want to see this guy go out in like this awful mess. It's just much better for him to just phase out now, let the new regime come in. I think it's about time. I think it's he's getting up there in age as well. I think Tom would enjoy going out on the golf course and he would benefit from just playing a nice 18-holer every once in a while. I think here in a few years, give it probably a year or so. I think it's getting close to the time for him, and I think it would, an end of an era. And I think it would be fun to see like a guy like Mike McDaniel, someone with like that personality to like take over, because we've seen for years like this like very like hard-headed Patriots culture, and I think it'd be very fun to see a guy like Mike McDaniel come in and just like turn that culture on its head.
Yeah, no, for sure. Did you have any overreactions for this week?
There was one very, very big one. You touched on the Packers one, but like 2 of them kind of just lumped together.
Can we talk about
Aaron
the Packers
Rodgers
really quick? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts on? I mean, we've already said it, plenty of times, but I mean, at this point, the wide receivers that are available, because I was thinking about this today, how much of an impact would a DJ Moore make on this team? I mean, because very clearly, I mean,
I think it would
think
be
about
huge.
it.
I do. I think it would be huge.
Yeah. I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, I know Jerry Judy's available as well.
But no, I think they would benefit from another guy there. But like more so, my takeaway too is like one of the things that like aggravates me the most. And again, I heard this on a different podcast. I think it's called like Caps Off or something. That they've gotten again really big on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Why are we making excuses for Aaron Rodgers? Like, I understand that he's one of the greatest of all time, but we're seeing what Daniel Jones is doing with far, far, far less talent than what Aaron Rodgers has. Freaking Alan Lazard would come in and immediately be the wide receiver 1 in that Giants offense. And yet we're seeing Daniel Jones still succeed with the awful surrounding cast. I mean, he has Saquon, which is awesome, but Saquon isn't like this elite pass catcher back. Meanwhile, Aaron Jones is this elite pass catching back, and he has better wide receivers, and he's still performing less than Daniel Jones. When are we going to stop making excuses for Aaron Rodgers? It's time for the man to retire, hang up the cleats. Him and Tom Brady should just walk off in the sunset. That'd be awesome. No longer have to see those old geezers anymore. But I'm sure you want to be Aaron Rodgers one last time before he leaves.
I think that it would be an awesome go out, an awesome ride if not only do the Bears beat Aaron Rodgers one last time before he leaves, but if they beat him when I'm there. I want to see it with my own eyes. And then I want to say, I own you to Aaron. I'm just kidding.
Just belt.
Yeah. No. But okay, one thing that I'm seeing as far as rumors is that Green Bay is engaged in trade talks with the Cardinals for AJ Green.
Watched. He's not going to do anything. He's Sammy
I was
going
to say, yeah, there's plenty of guys like that too. Jalen Rieger's also gaining some trade interest. You know a lot about Jalen Rieger, and the Packers are checking in on him. Like,
yeah.
I mean, how much more? Because obviously they don't have a lot of money to work with. If they were to trade for a big name, they got to have money for a big name. Otherwise, you're just renting it out. Like, you know, you look at an AJ Green, you look at a Jalen Rieger, they're a temporary fix. It's almost like dare I say, it's almost like a N'Keal Harry experiment in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think it's along the same lines.
Yes, it would be. I don't know. My thing is the guys that would come in and fix that offense are not available. The closest dude you can think of is DJ Moore, and I think DJ Moore would have a nice impact.
Kenny Galladay? No, they don't have money for Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay's not good.
I'm literally just throwing stuff at the wall to see if it'll stick. Like,
yep. And
I don't know.
There's an interesting Packers conversation that doesn't fit here in this segment here that I want to have with you later on in the podcast that I just thought of. And I'm thinking we can just stick it right at the beginning of Gridiron Goose, in between Gridiron Goose and Weddle or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a conversation I really want to have with you in this podcast. But the other overreaction too, though, that I wanted to touch on was the whole Buccaneers and Panthers. Like, that was awful.
Dude, what? Yeah.
Awful. I don't know. The Panthers just traded away their best player and still beat up on the Buccaneers. Like, I don't understand what is happening right now. Tom Brady should have stayed retired. Tom Brady's the downfall of this Bucs team, and it's weird to say that. But it just, I don't know what's going on down there in Tampa Bay.
I don't either. I mean, you know, like, I overhyped that team so much. I said that they were going 16-1 or 15-1 or something like that, or 15-2. But I was like, I really believed in this Buccaneers team, and they are fully letting me down. I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah. One thing I guess it's important to note here, I guess it belongs here. Andy Dalton is going to be a starting quarterback for the Saints going forward. But the reason I was thinking about that was I think it belongs here. I think that clip that we saw of Andy Dalton, and it was like showing Andy Dalton and Marco Wilson like flipping in the background to the touchdown after that Thursday night game. That has to be the best clip that we've had all season.
Here's another thing that I want to talk about too, and I'm not just saying just strictly for the Bears or strictly for the Packers or whatever. I'm hearing several teams have called about Texans wide receiver Brandon Cooks.
Yep.
What do you think his trade value is worth?
That's tough. What is he? 20? Gosh, he's probably 29 at this point.
I'm checking at the moment.
He might be younger than what I think. Like
29.
I think 29. Bang.
If you're Chicago, you're not looking at it just because of the age. You want to stay young, but
because the age. But he's Darnell Mooney. That's basically what he is. I don't know. I think you could probably get him for like a fifth. Yeah, I think you could get him for like a fifth. So
yeah,
I think it's something worth looking into if you're the Packers.
Maybe a conditional fourth.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, let's go ahead and move on.
You think you know football? Well, prove it. This is Pigskin Pick'em.
All right, so last week, Ben, I'm so sorry, buddy.
Tough week, man.
You went 6-8. I went 10-4. which brings our overall records to I am 66-41-1, and you are just 10 games below me at 56-51-1.
What's that? What's your win total?
66-41-1.
Yeah, 66. What can I say? It's just a
Oh, yeah.
phenomenal number.
For those that don't know, that's his football number. Anyways, let's go ahead and kick it off here. Ravens at Buccaneers. I mean,
but real quick before we do like the Ravens and Buccaneers, I have a couple teams for like
upset alert. Yes, hold on. Sorry. Wrong drop. I meant
Just when you thought it was safe to play the underdog, we put you on upset alert.
Yeah, pretend that one didn't happen. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
No, I think I actually have a couple. Usually, only like doing two. But there's a couple. There's only one that like I'm actually going to put my name to. When it comes time to do the pigskin pick 'em. But the 4 games I think we should watch out for is, Bears versus Cowboys. I think the Bears could hopefully cause some confusion for Dak, especially with this being his second game back. The one thing that concerns me a little bit is, or not concerns me, good for you guys, is the 2 best defensive weapons for the Cowboys is Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons. And the best way to neutralize those 2 guys is just by running the football. And that's something you guys do very, very well. So that's one team. I have the Patriots over the Jets. I think that's a team to watch. Hopefully this sparks a plug under Mac Jones. And then I have this one. This one was the hardest game for me to pick. I have the Colts over the Commanders.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, yeah, Colts over the Commanders. I think I haven't checked the line, but I'm assuming many people consider the Commanders favorites just because everything that happened there with Matt Ryan and stuff. But Sam was very awesome to watch in the preseason, and it's just a matter of chemistry. But I think that's just going to be a fun game to watch out for. And then the final one is the Bengals versus the Browns. I think the Browns have a chance to upset them. I think the Bengals are riding really high after that Falcons win, and we might see this gritty Browns team come in and knock them off their block.
So for mine, I have Dolphins at Lions. Lions can make some noise, and it's at home. So, why not? Cardinals at Vikings. I mean, Vikings are such an up and down team, just historically, like whatever. Bears at Cowboys. Bears can make some noise, man. They can do it again. Jets at Patriots, and I'm only calling this a upset because the Patriots have won the last 12 of their matchups. Giants at Seahawks. This is going to be the game of the week, but the Seahawks could potentially cause a upset on the streaking New York Giants. And then I also have Bengals and Browns as well. So anyways, I'm not going to play the drop again, but it is pigskin pick'em time. Ravens at Buccaneers.
I have the Ravens pulling this one out. And again, maybe I'm going to look a little silly here and the Buccaneers snap back. But until the Buccaneers show me that they can snap back, we're going to go with the Ravens, even though the Ravens have been wildly disappointing. But we do have the Ravens pulling this one out in a pretty close one in 24-21 Ravens.
Okay, I have the Ravens 28-23. It's pretty close, but the thing is, Buccaneers have a lot of injuries this week, and I'm not taking them. Broncos at Jaguars.
This is an interesting one, and I guess this was the last thing that I meant to talk about in the overreactions that I didn't. It was a little concerning that Brett Rippon came in. For those who don't know, Russell Wilson didn't play this past week. Their backup quarterback, Brett Rippon, did. And it was a little concerning that offense looked the exact same with Brett Rippon than it did with Russell Wilson. Why is this dude playing the exact same as Russell Wilson while making $32 million less? That being said,
Nathaniel Hackett for everything, by the way.
Yes, and this game is in London.
Let me double check.
I could be wrong.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's in London. Yep. Which is great because for those who don't know, the Jaguars are London's team. And it's awesome to like finally see the Jags doing good in London, being able to see that. And it's weird to say that the Jags like have the home field advantage here, but they do. And I'm going to take the Jags winning this one pretty freaking handily. We're going to have the Jags winning this one 24-13.
24-13.
Yep.
I have them. I have the Jaguars as well, 31-23. Pretty handily. But the thing is, I think potentially the Broncos get the ball moving. Hopefully, maybe, but I'm not willing to bet on them just yet. Dolphins at Lions.
I think the Dolphins offense is just going to have their way with this Lions defense. I'm gonna have the Dolphins winning this one 31-17.
All right. I am going to have the Lions in a shocker because you got to throw in a couple of them every week. And I'm going to say it's going to be a pretty high scoring affair, and it's going to be 42-34 Lions. So Dolphins defense is going to fall apart, apparently. I don't know. Panthers at Falcons. It's interesting.
It's an interesting matchup because we saw what the Panthers defense looked like against the Bucks, but I think we can contribute most of that just to the Bucks not being able to move the ball on offense. I think the Falcons are going to take this one, and I'm going to be honest. I think this game is going to be awful to watch. I don't think it's going to really be fun at all. I think it's probably going to be like 17-13.
I was going to say Falcons 20-17 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals at Vikings.
Why did I say I picked the Cardinals for the first time, and I was right. It felt good.
Yeah. Hey.
Yes.
Join the train, brother. Let's go.
Nope. I'm hard set on this one. The Vikings are going to win this one by 1,000.
All right.
Real quick though, I think that that pass defense is really going to struggle to cover Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson is probably going to explode. I think we can see like a Jamar Chase of this past season performance out of Justin Jefferson, this past week out of Justin Jefferson this week.
I'm going Cardinals 31-27. The Vikings defense, man, I'm telling you, it's just not that good.
I know.
Bears at Cowboys.
I think this is just going to be a defensive showdown, and the score on this game is going to be really low, but I don't think that's going to kind of show the action that happens in this game. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch, even though the score isn't going to tell you that. I think the Cowboys are going to win this one 17-14.
The thing is, I want to be biased and I want to choose the Bears, but they just traded away Robert Quinn and that's a factor in pressures. Travis Gibson, I'm still faithful in him, and I think he can do a good job. I think he just needs time to pick it up. Al-Qadim Muhammad and maybe Dominique Robinson maybe play a factor in that other end. It's really tough, and I'm right there with you. I think it's going to be super close. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick the Cowboys, and I'm just going to prepare myself for disappointment, but I'm going to be very pleasantly surprised if the Bears pull this out.
I'm hoping for the Bears, man. Screw the Cowboys.
I'm going to go 24-. I'm going to give the Bears 17 here, just because I like their offense. I'll be completely honest with you. Whatever they did against the Patriots right there reminded me of preseason football. You remember when we were watching the preseason, whatever? I'm like, hey, check it out. They're winning, whatever. And then I just look back. It's like, didn't really matter. Like, it's a preseason. That's the same exact feeling that I'd had when we left Soldier Field after the Bears and Chiefs game, and we were just kind of like, meh, okay, that was pretty cool. Like, whatever. That's exactly what I felt. Just giving you a perfect insight at how I felt afterwards. Anyways, Raiders at Saints.
I'm like a certified Raiders hater or Saints hater now. Sorry, Matt, but like I'm really just rooting for the Saints to just stink it up because we own that pick. And they really did just stink it up. So yeah, we're gonna bet against the Saints here, and hopefully Devontae Adams has himself a nice game. We're gonna have the Raiders win this one 27-14.
I am going. Give me a second while I write this down. I'm going 31-13 Raiders. I think it's going to be the wrong move to start Andy Dalton, and that's exactly what they're doing, and it's just not a good move. So next up, Steelers at Eagles.
Wow. I think that this should be a game that the Eagles should be a little worried about. The Steelers is always a nice, gritty team, kind of almost your in-state rivalry that's not quite there yet, but they still have some mutual hate for each other. That being said, I really think the Eagles should just absolutely dominate this game. I don't think it should be close, and if it is, I'm going to be a little concerned. And the bye week coming after week 6 was like a little tough. It's a really early bye week, but it couldn't come at a better time because our offensive line was very badly hurt. But I think the Eagles are going to handle business here in Pittsburgh, and I think the Eagles are going to win 31-13.
I'm giving the Eagles 35 to the Steelers 23. So, Patriots at Jets.
So I told you guys I had one upset out of the ones that I had on that list. This is the game. We're going to have the Patriots beat the Jets. I think this is going to be a really, really close one. And I think we might see Zach Wilson struggle a little bit in this game. We're going to have the Patriots win this one 24-17.
I'm going with the Jets 24-20, and I'm going to say it's going to come down to a game-winning drive that's going to be by either Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones, and it's just going to be a complete crisis in New England when they can't get it done.
Have we picked – I think we've picked the same game every single game besides that Cardinals game.
Cardinals and Patriots and Jets and the Lions and Dolphins.
Did you have the Jets win this or the Patriots win this?
I had the Jets. I'm taking the Jets 24-20.
Okay.
And then I had the Cardinals winning, and then I had the Lions winning. So
right,
that's
so
our
3.
conflicting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Yep.
Titans at Texans.
The Titans. The Texans don't look very good. And actually, I heard like a super interesting stat today. The Titans are actually number 1 in the league when it comes to converting touchdowns when in the red zone. And you're like, what? I think they've converted 12 of their 13 drives into touchdowns when they were in the red zone. And the reason they're so efficient in the red zone is because they don't get into the red zone much. But I do think the Titans are going to win this one. Actually, no. Upset alert. We're going to have the Texans win this one. I don't know what came over me. We're going to have the Texans win this one. I think the Texans are, you know what? We're going to go on the complete opposite. I think the Texans are going to blow them out. I don't want to give you guys a score prediction because I thought about this on my feet and I just switched it up. But I think the Texans are going to win against the Titans handedly. I don't know why. Can't explain it. Like you said, you have to have a few of these a week. We're going to have the Texans just blow out the Titans.
What's
Lord
the score
doesn't know
prediction?
why, but I don't know. It's hard for me to give you guys, again, we'll say 2 touchdowns. So the easy score prediction, I'll say 28-14.
All right, I'm going Titans 21-13. Giants at Seahawks.
I have the Seahawks winning this one. I don't know if that's considered an upset or not because both teams are playing very well. I think the Seahawks are finally going to show people that the only reason the Giants are good is because they're barely winning on like these awful like margins at the ends of games. I think the Seahawks are going to win this one, and I think the Seahawks are going to win this one pretty darn handily. I think the Seahawks are going to win this one 34-24.
I have the Giants 31-23, and I feel like it's because, the Giants, they have something to prove this season, and they made the correct adjustments, and I like them a lot, and I'm on the hype train now. So, Commanders at Colts, 2 games away from my favorite. I'm so excited.
I definitely will be watching this game. It'll just be fun to see Sam play, but I do think that the Commanders, wow. The quarterback matchup in this game, by the way, Taylor Heineke and Sam Ehlinger. Phenomenal matchup.
Oh, boy.
2 elite quarterbacks. We're going to have the Commanders win this one. I think the Commanders are going to win this one 24-10.
Commanders hot streak? We say yes. I'm going Commanders, and I'm going to say it's going to be 23-17. 49ers at Rams.
I'm going to have the Niners win this one. I think CMC's finally going to settle in, and we can kind of see him be that bell cow back that we're kind of looking forward. And again, I know we've kind of cut it out, and there hasn't been much to talk about, but I think if you have CMC, you start him in fantasy.
Yeah.
I think this is the week that we see him finally take over the bell cow role. And if not this week, next week. But yeah, the Niners are going to win this one 27-13.
I have the Rams 28-27. It's going to be a nail biter here. It's really weird. The 49ers beat the Rams at home. And so now the Rams are going to beat the 49ers at home. It's just how the rivalry works. Game of the week for me personally, just because I like this, and I'm just going to give my score prediction here. It's going to be 1,000-0. Bills are beating the Packers, and they're going to beat the brakes off the Packers, and it's going to be so much fun to watch. Anyways, what do you think?
30. Bills 37-17. I don't think there's much here to really talk about.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for this because then you get to see Aaron Rodgers mad a little bit more. He's going to find a tablet. He's going to break it. He's going to do something. And it's either that or Aaron Rodgers might not play. He didn't even practice today, by the way.
Yeah.
So just a little heads up too. That might rest him. I mean, see what Jordan Love's got. Why not?
Yeah.
Bengals at Browns.
I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. We finally saw these Bengals explosion that we were hoping for. I'm going to be honest. Everyone knew it was coming, and that's kind of why I wanted to get on that Jamar Chase hype train before. Just couldn't get the deal done. It is what it is. Almost, man. It was a time, man. I thought it was going. Yeah, I thought, man, for a second that I was going to get.
I'll give you credit. It was close, but I'm happy it didn't happen.
I admit you are, especially after freaking Amon-Ra St. Brown left 5 minutes into the game. Anyways, the Bengals, like we said in the opening, they really had their points explosion. Everything in that offense was clicking. That offensive line finally looked good. And I don't think that offensive line is going to look as good in this game with Myles Garrett lining up there, but I do think that the Bengals are going to take this one. And I think the Bengals are going to take this one 31-27.
All right, give me just a second. Oh man, yeah, no, I have literally the same exact score prediction as well. Looking back, okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna change my pick, and I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers beating the Ravens.
Okay.
And it's still gonna be 28-23, whatever, because I'm reading a report saying Tom Brady and his ex-wife have a potential to save their marriage. It says he leaves football to spend time with the family, or she's gone for good. And she doesn't want him to continue to get injured and not be able to enjoy life in the future, so she's doing it for her family. Her and Tom's friends are upset at Tom for going back on his word and coming out of retirement. They hate the way that he's refusing to bend. So if this truly is it, he's got a game tomorrow, and he's not going to go out on a loss.
Yeah.
It's just the way that I see it. So Tom Brady's going to do everything that he can in his power to win that game, and I'm going to pick it just because I want to be right. Anywho.
Pro football isn't the only game in town. Let's take a stroll to Ben's College Corner.
All right, Ben. It's time for you to take the reins, buddy. Let me just say one thing first.
Yeah.
Tennessee's uniform of the week.
Fire. Here, while I'm talking, do you think you could pull that up?
Yes,
Just so
absolutely.
Just so people
Go ahead.
Yeah. But as far as the 3 games this week, there's not many big games to look forward to this week, which is a bit of a shame. I still have my 3 games for you guys like I always do each and every week. To start off, the only top 25 matchup we have is number 5 Tennessee versus Kentucky. This is the SEC showdown. It's a battle of who I think are 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the SEC. In Hendon Hooker and Will Levis. And I really think we're going to get to see a quarterback treat for those who like to scout and for those who just enjoy watching the game. I think it'll be fun to see these 2 quarterbacks battle head to head. Another game I have on here is the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Florida Gators. Normally, in normal circumstances, and for those who are visually looking, Ryan pulled up this Tennessee uniform that they're playing this next week. And those helmets, though, I love those helmets.
Yes.
Oh, they're going blackout. It's phenomenal. I love it, man. Love it. So,
all right.
But usually I wouldn't have like the Georgia versus Florida on here. Georgia is clearly the better team. But we don't have like the official injury report because it's not like the NFL. They don't come out with them each and every day. But just that Georgia team is just very, very beaten up. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys from last week who were on the injury report. Jalen Carter, who is clearly, I think, their best player, maybe outside of Killen Ringo, but I think Jalen Carter is by far their best player. He was out. He didn't even play last week. So it'll be very interesting to see his status. And just due to that, and due to these players not being fully healthy, I think Florida might be able to put up a bit of a show here. And then the final game I have to talk about. How could I not talk about Michigan versus Michigan's little brother, man? For those who don't know what I'm referring to, it's Michigan versus Michigan State. Michigan State sadly doesn't look as good as they did last year. Obviously, I think most of that has to do with Kenneth Walker being out because that offense was obviously a very clear run-heavy offense. So Kenneth Walker moving on to the next level really hurt them. Michigan State doesn't look like the team they used to be. And again, as a college football fan, that's a bit of a shame because this game always has some hype and some oomph behind it. And with Michigan State not being as good this year, that's just not there. But as a Michigan fan, awesome. We love to see it. Hopefully Michigan whoops on them. And an interesting thing that like Michigan fans are trying to do in this game is a blue out. We always have like a maze out, but we're doing like a blue out, and it's like a 7:15, 7:30 game. So like we're trying to get everyone in the stadium to blue out at night. I think that's going to look super, super sick. Bring Paul Bunyan home. For those who don't know, that's the trophy in the Michigan versus Michigan State game. And now we moving on to like that prospect that I try to bring you guys each and every week. And it's a guy that I've been talking about forever. Ryan's probably sick and tired of me talking about this guy. But he brought up a question last week about the Jordan Addison versus Quentin Johnston debate. And I think it's about time that I get to do a deep dive on my guy, Quentin Johnston, who I had a bold take at the start of the season that he was going to be a top 3 wide receiver drafted. And look at me now. It really looks like he is going to be a top 3 wide receiver drafted. But just a quick breakdown on you guys. He is a senior who plays at TCU. And if you guys don't know this about me already, I'm big height, weight, speed kind of guy. And Quentin Johnston is just the epitome of that. Quentin Johnston is 6'4", 212 pounds. And he has like off the chart burst. Like he is like a very, very quick guy. And quick in the sense that, again, he's like a jitterbug almost, but he's a jitterbug at 6'5". You don't see that kind of acceleration and quickness and speed usually in a 6'5" package. The thing that he does struggle a little bit with being as big as he is, he struggles against press just because he has so much space for a cornerback to press up on him. And that doesn't go hand in hand with his other struggle, is route running. His route running isn't particularly bad, but being so big and so tall, he struggles sinking his hips in and out of routes that cut. That he needs to be super quick on, and not being good at route running and not being able to get off the line during press coverage usually doesn't go very well. But since he's 6'4" and he's quick, doesn't really matter. The dude is going to be dominant, especially if he can get into a good NFL offense. And it'll be fun. And not to toot my own horn here, Ryan, but Tyreek Woolen.
Yeah,
Tyreek Woolen, man.
He's kind of good.
For those who don't know, yeah, Tyreek Woolen was like my guy in this past draft. Here, let me see. I'm pretty sure he and Christian Watson were like my 1A, 1B. And he's killing it right now. The dude has I think he has 4 interceptions on the season. He's hanging back to the house. Dude is playing like lockdown coverage. We absolutely love to see it. Yeah, he was ranked number 1 on my list personally. Yeah, my list doesn't look too good. My top tier was like Tyreek Woolen, JT Woods, For those who don't know, JT Woods, he got drafted by the Rams, and I think he's been like on like inactive. He's on their active roster, but he's been inactive. Christian Watson and Kyle Hamilton, though, he's looked good. Like the first 2-3 games, he's like struggled, but like the last like 4 games, he's looked pretty locked down. That being said, I'm looking forward to locking you down in Weddle, my friend.
Hey, really quick, I just got to say, as far as matchup of the week goes, Ohio State's playing Penn State in Penn State. So
how did I miss that? Wow.
Just wanted to say it's a top 20 matchup, and I'm kind of scared. Not gonna lie.
No, I wouldn't be too worried about it.
I'm just saying, crazier things have happened.
Oh no, absolutely. I guess that's important to talk. I can't believe I missed that. I think. What do you guys second in the nation?
Yes.
I think Ohio State's second in the nation. I think Penn State's now dropped to 19 after getting smacked by Michigan 2 weeks ago. But I think as long as you guys can pass on them and you guys can pick on Joey Porter or find the person who's not being covered by Joey Porter, you guys are taking some pretty handedly. As an Ohio State fan, I wouldn't be too worried about it.
Yeah. All right. You wanted to have a conversation before fantasy before Weddle.
Yes. No, so we were talking about the Packers here in the opening, and something that I thought was pretty interesting that you brought up when looking at this Buccaneers game when you came back to it was the whole Jordan Love thing. And I still just can't wrap my head around this. And I guess the way I would describe this segment is kind of like an open mic conversation, just a conversation for nice football thoughts back and forth here.
Oh yeah.
But like, it just, the whole Jordan Love situation just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with him. I think this is his 4th year. What do you sign him to his 5th year extension? Do you trade him away? It doesn't look like they're going to trade him away either, which makes no sense. They basically just wasted their first overall pick or their first pick in that year on a dude for nothing. It's not even like they wasted on a bad player because they don't even know if he's bad because he's not playing. Yeah. And it's a perplexing situation.
I say it all just depends on what happens with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I think this upcoming offseason, Aaron Rodgers is going to be given an ultimatum again. I think this is going to be the summer of the winter and spring of, is he going to be back? Is he going to be gone? Is he retiring? What's going on? And they're going to give him a date. Look, you either A, figure this out, or B, we're going to trade you, take the cap space and improve our team and stay contenders. As of right now, the way that the Packers look, they could potentially wind up at a pretty decent draft pick. If they can keep a young quarterback at that, and maybe even if a young quarterback drops to them and they have a competition or whatever to see, or if they draft another wide receiver that's a little bit better than Christian Watson, which by the way has not panned out the way that I thought would. But
no,
anyways, I think it all just depends on what he's doing at the end, and I mean. If Aaron Rodgers does come back, then unfortunately they'll have to figure out, they'll probably take his 5th year option because they don't have that just yet. They'll take his 5th year option and trade him is what I would assume. So, which is,
I don't know, which is what they should do. But so what? They come into the offseason and say, Aaron Rodgers, make a move. Like, you got to do what you got to do. You either pick here or you don't.
It's either, you lend it up to him. Do you want to be a Green Bay Packer or do you want to get traded somewhere else?
And if Aaron Rodgers was like, I want to be a Packer, what do you do with Jordan Love at that point? I honestly, at this hope,
you extend him to a certain, or you take his 5th year and then you trade him.
But they haven't shown, they don't want to trade him. It would make no sense. Just trade the poor dude away at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
Because, I'm saying right now, like they haven't even been open to trading him now. I mean, the time to do it would have been to trade him last year.
Well, as of right now, they're under the impression that Aaron Rodgers is going to stay, but like they're not entirely sure about that. I think something's going on internally that people aren't seeing just yet. I think they're up to something. I don't know. It's a little rough.
I want to see him play somewhere else. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. But I'm pretty sure in his draft class, I'm pretty sure he was like my second favorite player in his draft class. Yeah, in his draft, like that was the Javon Kinlaw draft class. I love Javon Kinlaw as a prospect, but like Jordan Love was my second favorite like prospect in that class. He had like his running ability paired with like his rocket arm reminded me so much of like the high potential that you would get in Josh Allen. Again, I've said numerous times, you don't make one-to-one comparisons when it comes to like draft prospects. But like you love to see his speed and his arm, and he had that at Utah State. It's a shame that we haven't been able to see it. And like selfishly, I hope that like the Saints, I think they're like a perfect team to like try that out. If the Saints were just like, hey, Packers, here's a 5th round pick, give us Jordan Love.
Let's do it. Yeah. All right.
So
It's time for America's favorite game, Weddle.
It's time, and
we're gonna be cutting it close here, bud.
Hey, it's all right.
It might reset, and we get 2 Weddle games in one.
No. We'll be fine. It's 10:51 my time. Let's do it.
I think it resets at like 12 Eastern time though.
Oh, okay.
So like resets
we'll be
in 10
fine.
minutes.
All right. I won last time, which means I'm gonna go with Justin Fields.
What's the record here right now? Aren't I beating about like 5 points or something?
You are up 11-6.
Yeah, 5. Okay.
Justin Fields didn't tell us a lot.
Justin Fields didn't tell us anything. Gabe Davis.
All right, so it's not a wide receiver.
I don't know why I guessed Gabe Davis. I thought the height was an arrow pointing up, not an arrow pointing down. That's what I get for wearing glasses. Has to be running back here.
Wide? No.
Yeah.
He's a lot shorter than I thought. Jeez.
Yeah, the age is Lord. I don't even know where to start here, man. I guess we started at trying to think of like a semi-old. I don't think this works, but Derrick Henry. I don't think it's Derrick Henry, but
that's who I was thinking as well, just because of age, but his number didn't work.
Trying to think who's in the NFC North.
Nick Chubb? No. It worked for the age, the position, and the division. And the height a little bit, but his number doesn't work either.
Oh, Najee Harris. I don't think the number works. I think Najee's 24, and I think he's too young. Yeah. Oh no, we're gonna run out of picks on easy mode.
Dude, yeah, we have two more guesses. Well, if it's not Cleveland, it's not Pittsburgh.
Oh, come on. I know who it is.
Wait, what? No.
Same team though. You're right. Yeah.
You're thinking Joe Mixon?
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Like, absolutely. I don't know why you picked Samaje Perine.
The jersey number threw me off. The fact that it's too far away from 24, 25. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah.
Hard mode. You get to go first this time, though.
Okay, sure. Yeah. We'll go AJ Brown.
Okay.
NFC offensive player under 6'4", so he's probably a wide receiver, or he's probably a running back. I don't know why I'm saying this. But he's a running back.
I just wanted to throw something out there.
5'1", 24. Dameon Pierce. I think Dameon Pierce is too tall.
It's a running back.
Oh, Dameon Pierce is not too tall. Why did I guess an AFC team? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I know. It didn't make sense to me either, but okay. Anyways.
South, North. All right. Trying to think of who's out there on the West. Wait, whoa. Look at the team they have there for him.
Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking West. I'm like West, and then I'm like, it can't be West because they said it's not. Yeah, okay.
For those that
So
are
it is-
listening
so it
at
has to be
home,
West team. It has to be an NFC West team then.
I guess Christian McCaffrey last, which is what he's referring to. So
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Elijah Mitchell.
Okay, so it's a West team.
This is gonna drive me crazy. I know. I almost picked this guy up. I think I know exactly who it is, but I can't tell you his freaking name.
Let's see. What's that other West team? I swear to God, I forget all the time.
All right, so the West is the Cardinals.
Cardinals is the other team.
Yeah, it's Cardinals, Rams, Niners, and Seahawks. Can't be DJ Dallas. DJ Dallas is too old. I know, like it. I know exactly what it is, and it's gonna drive me off the walls. Oh, I don't know his name. I know who it is.
Let's go.
Oh wow, I thought it was
Three. It was Eno Benjamin, ladies and gents. Eno Benjamin, and we still
Yeah,
had
I'll tell
an
you, I
hour
thought
and
it
3
was
minutes left.
RB.
Let's go.
I thought it was Kyron Williams. That's gonna drive me off the walls here. The only thing that's gonna like make me go crazy when it comes to this is like I'm overthinking hard mode too much. Like I'm like, it can't be Eno Benjamin. Like, why is Eno Benjamin? Like, he's too good to be in hard mode. Like that was like the same thing I did with like Nick Bosa. Like I just like didn't guess Nick Bosa because it was Nick Bosa.
I haven't
And
played Weddle in
Weddle-
a week too. That's pretty
Yeah.
solid.
Weddle's annoying me. Their hard mode is becoming too easy.
What's the name of the segment? Oh, you're not talking about Ryan and Ben? Oh, okay. Well, hold on. I've got it. It's time for Gridiron Goofs.
All right, so this week's is best dinner plates. So just anything in general, and
Any dinner foods, and this isn't like a cuisine limited. Like you can't be like Mexican food. Like
Yeah.
you gotta be more specific. Like I don't think this is gonna be on anyone's list. Like an enchilada or something. Like has to be something more.
So I have
specific.
I have the first pick. I can't pick
Yes.
breakfast for dinner.
I guess breakfast for dinner is so niche that like I'll
Does that
allow
fit?
breakfast for dinner. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's so niche we can like allow breakfast for dinner.
Okay. Your turn.
Pizza. No, pizza's like the clear. I thought pizza was a clear number one option.
I'll
So
go
with that, I'm
tacos then.
giving Pizza 2. I think tacos and burritos are like the clear second option there too.
Yeah. Tacos are pretty solid.
See, and this is where it becomes interesting because I feel like those are like clear 1 and clear 2. Like then after that, then you have to. I'm thinking about putting a big board together, which would have been wildly helpful in this draft.
I didn't
Like,
think about it either.
Would it be?
I'm
like-
hungry though, and that helped me. So
Yeah. Would it be like slimy of me to say burritos?
I don't know if I want to take that from you. I feel like tacos are just a smaller version of burritos. It's pretty much the same.
Not
thing.
the same thing. Don't.
It's pretty close to it though.
Holy
You're putting meat in
cow.
a shell. It's
Burritos
close.
are not even close to the same thing. The fact that you said that is just an absolute acidine statement.
I'm saying that it's related. It's like the fat cousin of the taco.
Okay, so you can't see me, so I'm gonna do this because you can see it for our visual listeners. Respect for you before you said that 2 minutes ago was here. This is the highest I can
Hey,
go without you saying it,
hey.
okay. It would have
No,
been
no,
higher,
no,
but
no,
you can't see this up here. So that's why that I'm the highest that
Dude.
you can. So respect for you before a minute ago was like here, and now you're off the screen because
it's literally,
you just said they're the same thing. They're not. It's an acidine
said they're-
statement. No.
I'm not taking it. So no.
Okay, fine. That's awful, by the way. I think that's awful statement by you.
I think they're pretty close to the same thing. So, and I think listeners will agree.
No, that's like saying like lasagna and spaghetti are close to the same thing.
That's two different kinds of pasta.
Yeah,
And you can
this
put a
is
lot
two
of
different
different
kinds of
things.
shells, my friend.
No, one's bigger
Yes.
than the other.
One is a soft shell and one is a fucking crunchy thing. Besides the point.
What?
That being said,
Oh, you're
we're
thinking
gonna pick
crunchy
lasagna.
tacos. You
Okay,
could still
okay.
have soft tacos.
We're picking lasagna with number 2.
That was gonna be
Lasagna.
my next pick. I am going with fried chicken
That was gonna be it.
for my third pick. My mom makes really good fried chicken, by the way. So, yeah, it's just one of her trademark. If it's not her trademark meal, I don't know what else would be, other than maybe like, something else. But I don't know if I should say it or not. It's pretty close, but anyway.
Yeah. That being said, Ryan, what country do we live in?
America.
America. And when you think of America, what dinner plate food do you think of?
Honestly, like either barbecue or fried chicken.
Wow. I was gonna say burgers.
Burgers, yeah. Burgers, yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Burgers. We're going burgers with third overall pick, dude. I made some bomb butter burgers the other day. They were gas.
Yeah.
For those who do, you fry the burger, you pan fry the burger in a pan with you get 2 tablespoons of butter and you plop it in the pan, and then you fry the burger in the butter and the juices from the burger, and it's better than a grilled burger. I don't even want to get heated for that. Don't even come at me with that. A butter burger is phenomenal. Not even close.
Okay. When you think of spaghetti, how do you make it? Because I don't know. It all just depends on the type of family.
You can do spaghetti and spaghetti and meatballs and spaghetti. You can do when you say spaghetti, I'll give you spaghetti and then the spaghetti.
I'm not saying specifically to this draft. Personally, how do you make your spaghetti?
In a perfect world, I make my own meatballs, but that hasn't happened in a long time. So I
personally put my meat in the red sauce.
Yes,
it's made into the red sauce.
Yes,
I don't put meatballs on their own. My family, my stepmom, she's Italian, so she makes spaghetti and then she makes red sauce for hours, makes the red sauce, and then she makes meatballs on the side. But you only get 1 or 2 meatballs, whereas my mom, who's not Italian, makes it normal spaghetti noodles. And by the way, Italians make spaghetti noodles angel
on their
hair.
own. Yeah.
Well, that too, but sometimes. But no, it's actually thinner. They use
but I'm saying
spaghetti.
It's wide. I'm saying it's wide.
Mm-mm.
Really?
Not all the times. Well, depends on the type of pasta.
That's fair.
But as far as that goes, though, they really like to use thin actual noodles. Or not. I mean, I guess noodles are a very broad thing, but specifically though, in this kind of spaghetti that I'm going to be using is the one with the meat infused into the red sauce, because I really like that. So yeah, and that's how I would personally make it myself when I'm out on my own. So yes.
Yeah. Well, okay, and that's personally how I make. That's personally how I make my. When I make it here, at my house, I always do. I always make the beef, the ground beef, and then throw it in the red sauce, mix it in, and do all that. That being said, I was really thinking you weren't going to take this dish, but I'm taking my favorite dish here because you're getting close to it. So we're going to do chicken parm. Chicken parm is my favorite thing on the earth.
Ooh,
chicken parm is my favorite thing on earth. I love chicken parm.
Are you thinking a sandwich, or are you thinking a pasta?
So I've only had a few chicken parm sandwiches, and all of them that I've had have been booty besides Cheesecake Factory. So we're just gonna do chicken parm as the pasta as a standalone. And wow, this is a very Italian forward pizza, lasagna, burgers, chicken parm. Take the burgers out, man. 3 of my 4 picks.
I'm down to do more rounds than just 5. I'm going shrimp Alfredo.
You can have it.
because I like shrimp and I really like Alfredo sauce. So that's number 5 for me.
This is coming from a dude who gets sick, like from eating Chinese food. Don't want to go into detail why. Just know I got sick eating Chinese food, so that's why I get sick eating Chinese food. Spare you guys the details. Like that being said, like they can't like leave off Chinese, and like I'm like bouncing back and forth between 2 different Chinese like dishes. I'm level with you. I'm deciding between orange chicken and like beef lo mein. We'll go with orange chicken.
Okay. You're talking like panda orange chicken?
Yeah, just like orange chicken. Yeah, sure, panda orange chicken. I was just saying like orange chicken. Like I don't like they're all like the same.
Honorable mention for me. The honorable mention is chicken lemon rice soup.
Ooh. Like, have you ever had like a chicken dumpling before?
Yes.
That's really good. And crab ragoons, dude. I can go for a good crab ragoon. I'm not a big seafood person, but like crab ragoons, where it's at.
I love crab by itself, like snow crab. Crab's really good, or like lobster. For those of you that don't know me personally, I used to work at a steakhouse, and
can I take back my my orange chicken?
Steak is huge in America, so yeah. I mean, I'll just kind of assume that you picked steak as well. So
no, yeah, sure. We're gonna take back my my orange chicken. We're gonna like substitute another chicken dish in there, and like it's a crime that this wasn't on our big board that we didn't. Chicken wings, like buffalo wings. Yeah. I don't know how we left that one off.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, I already had fried chicken in there. Like,
it's like I was like going through my head, and I'm like thinking of like different football foods and stuff. Buffalo wings, like oh my god, buffalo wings. Of course. My other roommate here, then you guys haven't met him. But my other roommate here, he makes like a really good like bean dip, and he makes it like every couple of Saturdays. That's a really fun like because like when you're watching football, you don't like want to like eat a whole meal. You just want something you can snack on. Like his bean dip was phenomenal.
Well, that'll conclude this week's episode. A little bit more, I guess, civil of a draft compared to the last few.
My goodness. Real quick, I can't believe this is awful of us. If you guys made it this far, thank you, I guess. But the trade deadline's Tuesday. So like the next time that we talk to you guys, hopefully there will be far more trades that have happened.
Maybe we'll do a little something special for the trade deadline.
A little something special, yes.
Maybe.
And
just maybe.
And watch us on Twitter. We want to be more active there on Twitter. Ryan will, tell you guys about our Twitter page and stuff, here in a second. But we want to be a little more active on there. So just watch out for that. And hopefully your team has a good trade deadline for everyone watching.
Yeah, if you made it this far, we want to say thank you for listening all the way through. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Pigskin Project. We have a lot scheduled for next week's show, maybe even before that as well. Make sure you're subscribed or following us on all platforms. We'd like to give a big thank you to Anchor.fm, Uppercuts Grooming, Regional Radio Sports Network, and Overtime Sports Network for helping us promote our podcast. Please leave a review down below because it helps us a lot more than you know. And that's it for this week. So thanks again for tuning into the Pigskin Project.